competition again. It's just on the back wheel of Keith Ewan.
Well, Rex White, the man who's the boss of the Suzuki outfit, said to me that this Superstock series is very close indeed, but he said sometimes it's too close for comfort.
Well, yeah, that's what racing's all about, and
a step out. I don't know how he controlled that.
in actual fact, what happened there with Keith is he wasn't quite lined up square at the jump, and he took off into the air at an angle, and that always causes some concern.
Well, I know it's quite commonplace and regular for you to see these riders cranking these machines over, but for everybody watching, there are certain safety elements about their dress. There's pads and things that protect them, aren't there, Mick?
That's correct. They've got a leather suit on, they wear leather boots, gloves, a very good crash act, and even when they do fall off, unless they actually hit something, it's very unusual to get much of an injury.
Yeah, and also you just saw that great shot of Roger Hurst there. You can see his knee pads on number 19, and those are quite regularly worn against the tarmac. But he's still hanging on there, on that Yamaha. Ewan still in second place on another Yamaha, and the Suzuki honours being upheld by Phil Mellor. Mez Mellor, 31 years of age, who's racing, well, the best racing I've seen him perform for a long, long time.
He's pushing Keith Ewan quite hard, and in fact, at that halfway around Chris curve there, he had to knock it off because of running to the back of him. I think if he could just get in front of Keith, he could maybe make some impression on Roger Hurst.
Well, they've completed 4 laps, so they're on their 5th lap, coming through to the notorious mountain section again, which they take in 3rd gear there, just popping a wheelie and snatch 4th.
Roger just seems to steady down a wee bit now, and he's just getting his act together, and you can see the sort of result that's having is actually pulling a wee bit of a gap.
And as they come round to complete their 5th lap, it's number 19, there he is, Roger Hurst, that man from Aylesbury, or Hursty as they call him, formerly lived in the Isle of Man, in 1st place. In 2nd place, number 16, on another Yamaha. That's Keith Ewan, the Superstock Series leader in 1987. And in 3rd place is number 10, the Suzuki of Phil Mellor, Phil from Huddersfield, the 31-year-old. And in 4th place, number 5, Trevor Nation, on yet another Yamaha.
I think by this stage in the race, the tyres are absolutely working to perfection, and the rider should have settled down, and Roger's still looking a wee bit ragged. I'm quite surprised.
Well, maybe he's going to be wearing out his tyres. There's another rider off, I'm not quite sure who that is. He's obviously all okay. His bike might, of course, broken down. It's Stringer, it's Ray Stringer, and he'd got up into 6th place, so we wondered why he'd gone off on lap charts. There was the reason, as we see them going through the chicane at the bottom of the hill, the bottom of the gooseneck, and disappearing through to the mountain. In 5th place now, by the way, is number 6, Steve Chambers, who's a local man from Saxelby, and although this is his local circuit, it's been unlucky for him. He's actually broken his ankle here 3 times, so he must be pleased to be up in the points. And of course, he's riding well at his home track.
This particular section, the slowest part of the circuit, you come through a barn corner there in 1st gear, about 15-20 miles an hour, accelerating to Roger's doing about maybe 110 now, and before he gets to the end of this straight, he'll do about 135-40 miles an hour.
Right, they've completed 6 laps, so there's 2 laps to go in the 2nd leg of this Superstock Manufacturers' Cup. That's the EBC MCN rounds, and there's Roger Hurst on his Yamaha. It seems like he's riding at 11/10, hanging everything out, Nick.
He's been riding a wee bit ragged, but he's getting away with it, and for the first time in the race, really, he's actually got a gap on that's actually worth something.
Well, there were 2 men that we were going to look out for in this race, the young men. One of them, of course, was Roger Hurst, who's 27, and looks very much younger than he is. He only looks about 19. But the other man that we were looking for was Terry Reimer, and unfortunately he non-started, but he had been 2nd in the championship. Won't lose points, of course, because this is a non-championship round.
No, Terry was very unfortunate, but he had some mechanical bother in the qualifying practice in the morning and didn't actually get the time in. Phil Mellor now, by the way, is up to 2nd place. No, I beg your pardon, still in third.
There we go. The battle for second place. It's 16 Keith Hewen who's got that second place at the moment, and behind him is Phil Mellor on the Suzuki, and then right behind him is Trevor Nation, the man who broke his collarbone at Knockhill and still rode in the next round of the championship, I believe, finishing 7th. Brave and hardy men out there, and very skilled.
Coming out of that corner, it's very much an adverse camber, and you've got to try and get the power on without getting the back wheel sliding around too much.
Well, they're on their last lap now, and it looks like, unless Hurst uses it, and Phil Mellor's going for it. He's trying to get that second place away from Keith Hewen. Keith Hewen, of course, a veteran of many campaigns, both overseas and here on our own country. TT rider, transatlantic rider, Grand Prix rider, teammate to Sheen at one point, so lots of experience, Mick.
That's right. But Phil's trying oh so hard, look at that.
Well, Phil Mellor on that third place Suzuki tried very hard indeed in the first leg, and he probably tried a little bit too hard. I wonder if he's been told to cool it a little bit by Rex White.
No, I think Phil will be riding his own race, but unfortunately, every time he's tried to pass and it's failed, he's dropped that wee bit behind, and it then takes another half lap to get back into contention again. And I think he still... Oops.
Well, it looks like Trevor Nation slipped through there into that third position. So that's Suzuki down to 4th now. So it's Yamaha in the first 3 places. And here's the leader. There's number 19, Roger Hurst, and he's still pulling the big wheelies. Hopefully, he thinks, on his way to victory, unless he makes a mistake in these last 3 corners. Here he is, clipping tight through Hall Bend, coming down through the gearbox, down into first gear, actually through the hairpin corner, down towards the bomb. Look at him pulling on that throttle, just tucking in the knee to get out of the way of the concrete. And back onto the start-finish straight towards the checkered flag. And it's going to be a great win. There it is for Hursty, Roger Hurst in first position. A tremendous race from him. And Roger Hurst, the 27-year-old, takes victory. And of course, with it, so do Yamaha in the Manufacturers' Cup. In second place was Keith Hewen on another Yamaha. In third place, pipping Mellor just on the last lap, was Trevor Nation on the second of the Parish Yamahas. And in 4th place, Phil Mellor for Suzuki. And in 5th place, a great finish there for Brian Morrison from Kirkcaldy in Fife, the 26-year-old, on the Honda. So the result, after 2 legs of the Motorcycle News Superstock Manufacturers' Cup, a very happy and in first place Roger Hurst on the Yamaha. And in second place, Keith Hewen on yet another Yamaha. In third place, the first of the Suzukis, Phil Mellor. In 4th place, Trevor Nation on a Yamaha. In 5th place, Brian Morrison, who is substituting for Alan McGladdery on the Honda. And in 6th place, Jeff Fowler on another Yamaha.